Hi, it's Justin from Castec Narracourt. Just a quick tutorial this week on mixing order for chemistry as we are entering our season where we're starting to look at spraying pastures, knockdowns, pre-sowing pastures, or renovating some of our pastures that are needing renovating before we hit winter and spring. Generally speaking, we always look to put our granular products in first, possibly your zimazines, Group B chemistry, Ally, Glean if you're using any of those. And then we'll work our way down to our Roundup type, which are salt-based products, and then move into our more heavier salts, which are your MCPAs, amines and those type of salts. And then we'll put all our oils and wetting agents at the end. And if we ever want to put trace elements or any other sort of fertiliser type products in with these brews, you would put those in early, right at the start. That's the only reason we'd ever not put your granulars in first, is if we are putting trace elements in, or nitrogen or phosphorus or anything like that. You would fill your tank to about quarter full, add your trace elements, fill it up to half full, and then start your granular adding. So you add your granules and then your Roundups and then your MCPAs back from there. The only reason why we add our trace elements and fertiliser type things is so they can have an opportunity to bind to any loose particles that are in the water, being calcium and some of those things. Otherwise, you always add your granulars first and your insecticides last. Moving on to nozzle selection. Obviously, got the low drift type nozzles, and you've got what they call a flat fan nozzle. The flat fans obviously will give you a better coverage, broader spectrum of chemistries will move through these type of nozzles. This is an 025, this is a 03. Obviously the bigger the orifice or the amount of water that comes out of it, the larger the droplet. Now when we're having windy experiences like we have in the last couple of weeks here in the southeast, you would move to a larger droplet. And that way you can actually have your droplet leaving the boom spray and hitting the target area in the shortest amount of possible time. So that equals pressure and droplet size. Sometimes if we're putting out fungicides and insecticides, not so critical to have the bigger droplets. A little bit of drift's not so bad, obviously not drifting into off-target species or areas, but you can afford to come back with your insecticides and fungicides with your medium type droplets. But when we're targeting large broadleaf weeds in grass-based pastures, a larger droplet will make the droplet move through, will have the power to move past the grass and then hit that broadleaf weed, and as it hits the broadleaf weed it'll spread as it hits and smashes. So I would encourage most guys to keep an eye out that your contractors are using the larger droplet size orifice, so you can get a coarse to a very coarse. Most of the labels for your phenoxy type chemistry, MCPA, amines are all on label now that we should be using coarse type droplets. That does do a better job. Obviously the oils and some of those things can affect the size of those droplets, but this time of year I would encourage most guys to look out that they are using a larger orifice with a coarse droplet or a very coarse droplet coming out of it. I think when you're dealing with contractors, most of the contractors we have in the southeast here are very good and very efficient at what they're doing, but I think because this is your money and your own properties and environments that you're dealing with and working within, I think it's very important that we remember our mixing orders, our droplet sizes, so that we are not wasting our money and the chemistry that we're putting on, and we're making sure the chemistry we put on is actually staying where it needs to stay. If you find some of this a little bit overwhelming and there's a lot to take in, feel free to come and see myself at Castec or any other agronomists in town, and we can help you through. We do have charts. Often we can give you mixing order charts, or we'll set you out some photocopied with plastic seals over them, so you can keep them in your ute or your tractor. If you want to carry some of these things with you, not a problem at all. Thanks.